punk rock, street trash, Wastelands. And here are your hosts, long-time partners in slime, Adam Obscene and Mark.
Hello world, this is Wastelands and I'm Adam Obscene, and with me as always is the mighty Mark.
Hey, Ad, so good to be with you. And hey, listeners, thanks for tuning in.
Mate, we've got a little nasty today that we have that you couldn't bear yourself to watch, which is hilarious. So when you got on, listeners, just to fill you in, I made him watch the last minute.
Yeah,
and we're going to take it from there.
I'm glad I watched that minute. That minute helped me solidify my own thoughts on the movie. Sure.
So let's play the trailer, and we'll see you on the flip side.
This is Tabula Rasa to Mission Control. All systems running at 100%. Starting main engine. Everyone ready to go to the moon?
5, 4, we have a disturbance. Great.
Mission Control, do you copy?
You're not getting back on course. 1.
Brace for impact! Let's see that.
Captain, I think you should see this.
Back to the ship!
Why are there sharks on the moon?
Americans. Welcome to the moon.
Henry! Where did they take him?
We are going home.
You're from Earth?
Protect the ship at all costs.
It's either us or them.
Shark Side of the Moon, listeners. Tubi Asylum special made especially for Tubi. Trailer looks particularly good in the sense that it pulls all the bits and pieces together.
Got you.
But listeners, you'll be very well versed in our love-hate relationship for Asylum. In the fact that I love them, Mark hates them,
and I hate them. Now, and we have a long, awesome friendship, Adam, and there's been a bit of this over the years, and it just makes me love you even more. That like this, that this is your bag. This is your bag. Like you, last episode, you trashed Roller Junkies so hard, but this week we are back, and we are going to discuss your absolute love for Shark Side of the Moon. This is what keeps us on the air, people.
It's kind of funny, isn't it, when you think of like, well, what in the world delineates, what is the line in the sand for me that says that Shark Side on the Moon is a good, bad movie, and like last week, like the trash can of dog dirt, which was Roller Junkies, is a bad movie.
Yep.
And I think it's imagination for me.
Yeah, I guess. I've got a theory, Ads. Okay, let me put this to you. Last week, you boldly claimed on air for the world that Roller Junkies had officially killed your love of trash movies. Could this be your rebirth? Have you chosen... not only have you chosen Shark Side of the Moon, but maybe do you feel like Shark Side of the Moon has maybe chosen you?
Well, I think in some respects I felt impure at the end of last week's episode, and so I went back to my comfort zone, that cozy place in the world that I know of, that is Asylum, to basically reinvigorate my love of all things shite, and look, Asylum did it. Asylum has done it. Asylum is one of those. I kind of attribute them to a modern day trauma, in the sense that they don't pretend to be anything other than what they are, and I don't think that maybe the makers of the previous episode's film probably don't pretend to be anything. It's just that Asylum do it with a finesse that is which isn't warranted. It's like they really, and this is because they have coined the term mockbuster. So they go in at dirty Z grade, but treat it like a blockbuster. And I think there's something in that where you just got to smirk and go, "You cocky bastards!" Like, well done, because you're selling shit for gold.
Yes.
Yes. And there's obviously monkeys like me which are buying, so or at least watching it for free on Tubi.
Or watching it. Yeah, for sure.
So I think, yes, back to your question, yes, I did look at reinvigorating my love of bad movies. But I've got to say, mate, this movie touched on a couple of things that even before I watched it, I read the synopsis, which is decades ago, the USSR developed unkillable sharks and launched them to the moon. Today, a team of American astronauts will endure the fight of their lives. Now, there's some key elements in that statement that just gets me. Like, straight away, USSR developed. So we're talking Cold War era, Soviet propaganda. You're talking about unkillable, genetically engineered shark soldiers, and you're talking about the moon and the American astronauts, getting nailed. So what you got here is elements. I said it in the video clip that I dropped on Thursday, which is, for me, it's got the feeling of Universal Soldier, so a bit of Dolphin Van Damme, as in that genetically engineered super soldier. You've got Jaws. Dolphin. You've got Jaws, clearly, because of the sharks. So a bit of Spielbergian suspense. Might be stretching a little bit. And then that unreal, amazing international co-collaboration film called Iron Sky, which was an Australian-Dutch, German collaboration, which was Nazis on the moon, which were the Nazis had sent, and they escaped Earth at the end of World War II to set up a colony on the dark side of the moon and then come back. So it has that type of feeling all mixed in together. So when I saw that, I went, you know what?
We're shocked.
I'm gonna watch this, and I'm gonna go in with all the open heartedness that you go into, and seriousness that you go into watching a movie that clearly is like, it's not setting any expectations, dude. It's got even the title is a pun. Seriously.
Yes, it's puntastic. I see what you're saying, Ad. This is like you have had your heart broken by roller junkies, and this is you getting over that breakup.
Shark Side of the Moon. On. Shark Side of the Moon is my rebound girl movie.
Yeah. There you go. How do you get over one movie? Get right back under another one.
Yeah, that's it. So, and this one does have all those. We're going to move straight on from that. This one does have all those elements. Like, it has killer thumbnail art. It's like reminiscent of the VHS.
Oh, I thought you meant it actually had a killer thumbnail.
They actually do. But look, there's not really, like, basically the premise goes like this, Lawson, here, if you're even interested, is that the Soviets have developed this super soldier. It gets, through a series of mishaps, through bungling scientists. Of course, the super soldiers break free. So the only way that they can save mankind is they load them all onto a Soviet-era space shuttle, and two brave scientists launch themselves to the moon.
Okay.
And so for decades they've been on the moon, and not a peep is nor heard because they're on the dark side. Move forward some amount of time, who knows, who cares? That the Americans have developed space travel to the level of probably Star Trek, and doing all this janky Star Trek inspired captain, commander, and doors opening and closing, and we're hitting turbulence. Let's bounce ourselves all around the fucking cabin.
Season 2 of Star Trek.
Yeah, season 2 of Captain Kirk with sharks. And so they get onto the moon and they get knocked off course or some shit, as always happens, and they go to the wrong side of the moon and discover this colony of sharks. Okay. And the sharks have adapted to be able to breathe non-oxygen, clearly, because they don't breathe oxygen. They breathe water.
Sure.
So anyway, they can do that shit. I got to say, at this point, there is nothing scientific in this film. There's the what's that? The suspension of disbelief.
Disbelief.
Is required checking into this movie. So check into the movie and check out your sensibilities and logic, because literally, like, nothing makes fucking sense in it. But
well, you know, like those day ads, like good science fiction. To make a good science fiction story, you have to have an element of truth in it. Now, that doesn't apply to this.
Well, you know, there's also that flip side of the good science fiction needs to refer to something that at the time that it's written or made is 100% not plausible at all. So because that's what inspires it to become plausible. So in that case, this is the greatest piece of science fiction ever fucking made, because none of it is plausible. But anyway, I digress. Like normal, you find these brutally bad shark human hybrids that are sort of like shark on the top, human arms, legs. At a quick glance and a squint, the CGI is good. But any prolonged scrutiny on the screen will demonstrate that when they have fight scenes, it's that classic where the director's gone to the actors, now fight as if you're jabbing a giant hybrid human shark soldier in the face with a pike. And so they're all just like, jab, jab. And then they'll intersect it with bad CGI of the shark swiping back, but you never see them in the same shot at the same time. So it's just that really great, like, joke. It's like, I'm jabbing you, I'm swiping you. And then you'll see someone get eaten, but then it's off screen and then there'll be an arm dangling around. That sort of business. It takes all the tick boxes of a classic B movie and just amplifies it in space. The explosions are crap. The dialogue is hilarious. The CGI is borderline at best. But, you know, again, you know, you said it's hard for me. Listeners, don't try to make logic of what I like and don't like, because no one knows that. But in the spectrum of things, all the things that are wrong in this movie are, I believe, are intentional to make it wrong, which makes it enjoyable, as opposed to inept filmmaking. Okay, like it takes a lot of knowledge to make a film this bad. This is like, can we spend $1 million on special effects? We could, or we could spend $30,000 and still get the same. Yes. Would $100,000
right?
Would $1 million on special effects make this movie any better? No.
No.
So why spend $1 million on special effects? You know, so that's my point. I think it's a fun ride. It's a popcorn, check your brain at the door, and with weird nods and in jokes that don't land, which in this sort of movie are kind of funny. Like, it's just like, you know, the directors in this are interesting because they are sort of Asylum staples. The Asylum has a wheelhouse of directors and whatnot. So the two directors, it's Glenn Campbell and Tammy Klein. This duo were responsible for.
What are they? Country? Are they country and western stars?
It's like, click. That's great. So on their after their. Tammy
Didn't
Klein,
they sing "I Wish You Had a Circular Driveway so you'd never have to leave"? Is that them?
I think it might be. So anyway, but what they were involved in was, we say that the Asylum made their bill on mockbusters. They then built in some credibility and started to go down the line, and still do. They've sort of split the business into mockbusters, into some, you know, genuinely good genre-based TV series like Z Nation and Black Summer. This is made for Tubi, so they've gone full back into it, and I think, you know, these guys were responsible for the mockbuster ripoff of the recently re-released June. Sort of June Reborn or whatever. So,
oh man!
And you know, the actors in it are through. You know, some of them have been in the Puppet Master series. Some of them have been in like other shark movies like Megalodon and you know shit like that.
Megalodon, yes.
Which is probably arguably one of the first monster shark kickoffs
Yeah.
back in the early 90s, which started this weird trail of destruction that we're on in the film world. So there's not really, it's funny. What I find a crime against humanity is that this has a 3 out of 10 star rating in IMDb, and that pile of shit that we did.
More?
What's that?
You think it should be less or more?
Well, I think that, look, I think it's probably just right, but but compared to that pile of shit that we talked about last week, which had a 7, it's just like there is no way on earth that was a 7, and this is a 3, that is not a 7.
No, it's not a 7. It's only for the bikini girls that it got a 7, I'm sure.
And yeah, we've spoken about that. Let's not relive that. I feel like I've finally put that behind me.
Yeah.
So this movie, I think, goes for 128 minutes. It's in color.
It's in color. Important to mention that. Adam just running down the specs of this bad boy.
And this one.
Body count.
So this actually, as you would expect at a shark movie, has a killer kill count of 45 kills for a runtime of 88 minutes, which makes the kills per minute 0.511, or like 1 kill every 1.9 minutes. So that's a killathon. And look, that's what you get. You get cheesy, gory kills of indiscriminate nature, and that's it.
Body count.
I'm so good at that now.
Fuck yeah, in and out.
So that's it, mate. Look, to be honest,
like a laser beam.
I was like freaking laser beams, sharks with laser beams. So, mate, look, I recommend, if you're into shoddy mock buster films, you want to just have a bit of a giggle. Like, I found it thoroughly enjoyable because it was really that bad, but it was bad for all the right reasons.
So this one, listeners, again, like, watch with friends, Adam. Watch to be entertained, and like you said, check your brain at the door.
Look, I'm not going to tell listeners what to fucking do. They're adults.
Look,
no, look.
You're trying to put it into context, okay? Listeners are good, hard-working Monday to Friday people. Come Saturday night,
you're loose as a goose. Get loose with your friends and watch a shark movie where they just rip people apart. Look, depends on your. It's a frat movie, mate. It's a frat movie. Beer pong.
It's a frat movie. Of course it is.
Beer pong. We don't even have frats in Australia. I didn't even realize they were real things. I thought it was a make-believe Hollywood thing. But, I thought
it was a John Belushi thing.
Yeah, probably was. I think he invented them, didn't he? He's it goes in the book of Belushi that on the 4th day, John created the frat.
The frat. And that was that.
That was that. Look at us go, laying down some lines for our new rap band. Rap band.
Oh,
was that literally the whitest thing ever said in the history of man?
Oh, God. Yeah, it was. There was something I said the other day that was the whitest thing. I couldn't believe it. And I was like, oh, no.
I'm that dude now. All right, listeners, so check it out. It's on Tubi. I'll put the links in the liner notes on wastelands.com.au. You can hit us up on the socials at Wastelands Radio Show. It's on Twitter as Wastelands RS, or on Insta, on Facebook, and bloody TikTok.
Bloody TikTok.
And
I'm ashamed of ourselves.
I'm not. It's great. So much fun. There's so much schlock on there. I just like destroying people's algorithms. And the other thing is you can also catch us. Send us a Gmail on the interwebs at wastelandsradioshow@gmail.com. Mark,
sounds good.
Just a postscript. Want to put out a happy birthday to our favourite author, Stephen King, who turned 75 on the 21st of this month.
Happy birthday, mate.
That's absolutely bizarre and weird that he's cracked over, what is it, 3/4 of a century? Is that some mass?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's 3/4 of a century.
That's wild. And so happy birthday, Mr. King. You've made our lives a lot better. And here's to more years, I guess. That's
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Yes, please. More Stephen King, more books. You do make our world a better place, Mr. King. Well said, Adam.
all right, mate. If that's nothing else to add, is there anything more you'd like to add?
It's good night from him.
And it's good night from me. Me?
Yeah.
Escape you.
Before you say another word.
Like this.